This is the challenge wheel drill, and basically the partners are going to tell her how far they want her to turn, and it can either be a quarter turn, a half turn, a 3/4 turn, or a full turn. And as she goes around the clock, she just did a half a turn, a quarter turn, a 3/4 turn, and this is a really good drill to work on those specific skills of wheeling and being able to control your balance where you're able to go around the clock on command. And so you'd have 4 athletes at each corner, and they would just bark out a command, and then once the athlete was able to get through the drill, the next person would go. And then, of course, the big challenge would be the left-handed, which you can see her demonstrating now, which is a little bit more difficult, but is another good way to build both sides of the body and to help reinforce the strong side by working on the weak side. The next drill we'll call our line drill series, and this is going to be a series of drills where we work on just balance. Now what the athlete is going to do is they're going to step, pivot, step, and then pivot, step back, and then pivot. And the athlete is just working on walking down the line, the hands are on the hips, and then this is just a drill that familiarizes the athlete with moving like a discus thrower, where the right foot would step first, the left foot would step second, right, pivot, left, pivot, right, pivot, and left pivot. And it just works on keeping on balance, but understanding the stepping and how the lower body is going to move as the athlete comes from the back of the ring into the middle position, into the power position. And now as you progress, you can step and turn at the same time and start to add more rhythm, and this is a good way to start developing the feel of turning through the middle and stepping into the power position. And so you can start and gradually start to blend these skills together as you get better at the drills, and you can see that it builds a nice bit of rhythm, and the athletes understand how to turn, they understand how to move with good posture, and this is a good way to teach the necessary balance for successful discus throwing. And so you can line your athletes up and then just have them walk and do these drills, and they can start with the basic remedial line drill, and then eventually they can start speeding up the steps, taking out the pauses in between, and just really working on this. Now you can add a discus and do the same type of drill, step, turn, and then pivot, step, turn, and then pivot back to the starting position. And you can have them hold a discus, you can have them hold a discus with a strap. And again, as many turns as you can get in, the athletes are going to just get more familiar with the balance and the posture, and they're also going to be able to internalize that rhythm. And keeping them on a line is going to make sure that their body is lined up, and that's going to really be important when setting up a good power position when they're actually going to throw. One way to warm your athletes up is just have them perform multiple walking South African drills. You can have them just go up and down the track and have them do 100 meters of these, where they just work on just the proper mechanics, where they're stepping and turning, keeping good posture, understanding the power position when the left leg comes down. And this is a good way just to train the right reflexes and help get some good reps as far as discus thrower specific. This drill is the tap and turn drill. It's a great drill to just work on unitizing the left side and have the athlete feel that concept of the left being locked and the right just picking up and moving around and keeping the discus behind the hip. And so we just call it the tap and turn drill. It's a good way to teach basic fundamentals of pivoting. Quarter turn drill is another drill where the athlete just comes around the clock. 70-30 split, 70% of the weight is on the left, 30% is on the right. And if you notice, the athlete just unitizes the left arm with a long left arm, forms the mirror in front of the body with a pretty straight left arm, and then just turns. Then they can go to the half turn, same drill, unitizing the left side and just picking it up and turning half revolution around the clock, just working on the balance and the skills of loading the left leg and pivoting. You want to think about having a stack of books on top of your head when you perform this drill. The eyes will be to the horizon. And then the 360-degree turn is another balance drill. And this really helps you work on your start, keeping nice wide feet, keeping your knees nice and wide, loading your left, and just being on balance. And your thrower should be able to